going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So yes, it's Sunday, and yes, I'm making a video. I don't usually report news or do anything on Sundays, but you know what, guys? We've had a really crazy week, and I honestly felt like we had to keep the discussion rolling. We have to keep talking about what's going on, so pleasure to have you back. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. If we have a look, there's a lot of green across the board today. Good. We needed this. Now, interestingly enough, Bitcoin Cash is down and XRP is doing quite well, up 7.55%, or according to CoinMarketCap, 7.2%. Obviously, still holding that second place. Bitcoin dominance has actually pulled back a few percentages, which is quite interesting. Maybe people are investing in some other coins currently at the time. Now, if we look at the biggest gainers of the day, we do have Digitex futures up almost 32%. If you guys didn't have a chance to check out the community interview that I did with CEO Adam Todd, definitely go check that out. We also have Factom up again today after all that news, almost 28%. Huobi token, Boss Coin, XRP, Nano, Stratus, Zcash, and Ravane all doing quite well today with an overall market cap of $185 billion. Now let's talk about the big news of the day, guys. Stablecoin purchases surged amid Wednesday's crypto market drop. Stablecoins like USDC, TUSD, and DAI each witnessed more than 200% increase in 24-hour trading volume. Just kidding. I mean, we assumed this was going to happen, right? That's not the news of the day, guys. This is the news of the day. Switzerland approves the first Bitcoin cryptocurrency ETF. Get this, with the ticker HODL. That's right. Money sign HODL. Okay, let's dive in. Let's see what's going on about this. So it's being offered by Amun Crypto, and it will begin trading on Switzerland's Swiss exchange beginning next week. The ETF's earnings will be linked to 5 different cryptocurrencies, those currencies being broken down into percentages. So basically what's going to happen is, according to the ETF, it has been designed to track an index based on the movements of these cryptos. So you have roughly half, which is 48% in Bitcoin. The rest will be put towards Bitcoin Cash, although I don't even know what's going on with Bitcoin Cash anymore. XRP 30%, Ethereum, and Litecoin as well. So this will give institutional investors that are restricted to investing only in securities or do not want to set up a custody for digital assets exposure to cryptocurrencies, okay? Some people don't want to go through the process of setting up a wallet, owning their own private keys, which I know, that's crazy. That's the whole purpose of this. That's why we got into this. But you know what? Some people just aren't going to do it. You know, so this is something that will provide access for retail investors that currently do not have access to crypto exchanges, also due to local regulatory issues as well. Okay. Now, I also wanted to talk a little bit about what we can expect from this. What are they going to offer? Well, they're looking to launch an index basket ETP first. So essentially, it'll allow investors to simply buy the market rather than trade specific crypto assets. We also have this in Coinbase with their bundle. So basically, they plan on launching specific trackers for each. The fund automatically allocates crypto distributions based on their performance in market cap ranking. So when you buy the stock, market makers buy the equivalent amount of cryptos according to the distribution and send it into the custodian for safekeeping. So this makes it the third crypto-related product to be listed on a stock exchange after CoinShares Bitcoin and ETH trackers and Grayscale's Pink Sheep products. They both have different legal structures. So with HODL, it's the first crypto ETF that legally has to be fully backed by turning the stock shares into crypto. So they're going to fully own it as well, which is also something that begs the question, if this just got approved, what are the chances of the VanEck Bitcoin ETF also being approved? This is the one that we've been talking about for months and months and months. So let's see. Well, if we come down here, we find out that they're doing the same exact thing, right? So users won't actually have the Bitcoin. So while the securities bought by the ETF aren't the Bitcoin themselves, the Bitcoin that the fund is actually going to buy are. I know. You got to own your own private keys, but we've gone over this time and time again. Not everybody is going to want to go through that process. So why do we think it can get approved? Okay. Well, the one thing is that VanEck has been around for quite some time. You know, actually speaking to the director of digital asset strategy over there, Gabor Gerbox, right? He goes on and says that VanEck was actually the first ever gold equity mutual fund. Now, this is way back in 1968, and they're currently still in operation today. So, at the time, the gold market cap was only $200 million, and the price of gold was only $35, whereas now it's over $1,200, and the market cap is well over $7 trillion, and they do believe that this has something to do with, the vehicle that they created. So he also goes on to say that a Bitcoin ETF would significantly increase the chance of a bull run and a far greater market cap than has been seen to date, which we have seen over 800 billion, so I would be more than happy to revisit those highs. So he also says that while the true believers may not like it, obviously, the traders aren't all for it, and wherever you stand on the subject, there's no little doubt in anyone's mind that a Bitcoin ETF is inevitable. Actually, he says the traders are for it. They are for it, which is, a lot easier for them. They just care about cash settlement, these guys, what they do. So the other thing, though, that's been kind of affecting the space as well is all this negative PR that's been coming out lately. I mean, everything in the news has just been so freaking negative about Bitcoin. In fact, you have the team over at Deloitte saying that they're actually having difficulty helping people figure out how to use distributed ledger technology because every time, so this is Linda over there, and every time she goes to talk to a client, apparently they're not interested in using the blockchain for their businesses. They're more concerned about like all the craziness that's going on, the Bitcoin Cash drama, the ICOs, and then they're afraid, and then they don't want to get involved. So, she says the boards are asking us about it because it's in the news for bad actors, and boards are nervous that blockchain is affiliated with Bitcoin and altcoins and ICOs, and what do boards do to protect their investors? So it hasn't helped us, this association with all these bad actors in the space. And not to mention more, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of negative news, but I mean, we have to just be honest about what's going on. You have analysts at Bloomberg basically saying that they think Bitcoin has even farther to fall. In other words, they're saying that we have not seen the bottom yet. They say that Bitcoin is no longer boring, and they say that it could fall as low as potentially the $1,500 point, which would be a further 70% drop in Bitcoin. So Bloomberg cites hedge fund founder Travis Kling. Now, we talked about him the other day, and he was saying that he didn't sleep well because of the potential turmoil in the wider crypto markets, mostly due to Bitcoin Cash. He says there's a small chance, it's difficult to estimate that something really bad could happen related to Bitcoin Cash that could then in turn affect the entire market. Also, people confused, they don't know what the difference is, right? You also have Mike McGlone. He also continued on the argument saying that the recent market crash was sparked by the pump for the Bitcoin Cash hard fork. As Bloomberg reports, he explains that the pump that began a few weeks ago got the market a bit too offsides with speculative longs playing for the good old boys, and this is more that could endure the bear market. Also wanted to talk about this article that came out. So this was apparently a survey. They invested 1,000 different investors. So you have Michael Labella, head of global equity strategy at QS Investors, and this was conducted by Legg Mason. So basically, it turns out that 73% of those surveyed said that they thought the United States was the best investing opportunity, despite worries about the trade war with China. Also, it was quite interesting to see that millennials are still really afraid to put their money in the stock market, still based on all the craziness that happened back in 2008's financial crisis. So the other interesting thing was that they said out of the 1,000 people that were asked, no one said that they were going to invest in Bitcoin. They think that that could be because the price of Bitcoin and cryptos have plunged in the past few months, but they also think it might have something to do with the fact that Bitcoin is still viewed as a more speculative, get-rich-quick type asset of some sort. But I want to quote Anthony Pompliano, history lesson: people feared electricity, people feared the first train, the first plane, the internet, hedge funds, people feared Bitcoin, people fear what they don't understand, don't get caught on the wrong side of history. Well said, Pomp. Well said. But as you guys can see here, Bitcoin has been on shaky ground lately. It was affected price-wise, dragging the entire market down with it. So the undesirable development has left many skeptics as to whether Bitcoin's perception as a truly decentralized system is real anymore when you got all these guys controlling it, manipulating it, forking it, right? So a lot of people are really worried about this. So in other words, the realization puts Bitcoin's utility into question. As such, a lot of people have turned away into other alternatives. you've seen XRP spiking lately. In fact, XRP performed very, very well. Now, regardless of how you feel about XRP, some people are actually turning to it. In fact, what's crazy is NeuNer, who's the co-founder of On-Chain Capital. You might have seen him on CNBC's Africa's Crypto Trader. He actually made a tweet somewhat as a joke, but he said these hash wars highlight why everyone should dump Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and put all their money into XRP. Now, obviously, was this a joke? I don't know. But he also put out a tweet that basically emulated that other tweet that was out from Ron Paul where they were asking about Bitcoin. And he says a wealthy person, gives you 10,000. You can't touch it. You can only hold it for 10 years. And out of 13,745 votes, 52% of it actually said XRP. So he says the results of this poll really surprised me. They show we really have a big problem in crypto. Also, he says, I really thought American airline miles would do way better. Haha, very funny. It was a joke. But yeah, so that is literally what's going on right now, guys. And to make matters worse, you have the SEC cracking down all in the same week. I mean, it's like, can we get any more crap going on in the space right now? So if we come down here, you guys know they've had the issue. So you had AirFox and Paragon as well. So the thing I want to know is that the penalties that the SEC sought to impose against these and other companies in its crosshairs are actually relatively light. Return funds to investors, register the tokens as securities, and pay a $250,000 fine. That's it. So without admitting or denying the charges, obviously both of these guys admitting to do this, but the SEC believes this should be enough to tell those who are considering taking similar actions, to be on the lookout for these violations. I mean, if you come down here and you look at what Nick Carter was saying, he was saying, after looking at this implies pretty much that every ICO you've ever seen is basically a security, right? So, here's the draft that they came out with AirToken Notice. Here's what, different people are getting. They have to fill this out. They have to try to see if they can get their money back and everything like that. So it has just honestly been a lot of craziness, guys. But let's move on. Let's talk about something pretty funny. So did HBO's Silicon Valley actually predict the Bitcoin hash rate war? Let's dive in. So, kind of funny story. I'm not going to go into this, but I wanted to have a little bit of a lighter side to today's episode. So, as you can see here, you guys may be familiar with this. Well, if you look at Season 5, Episode 8, it all comes together. So, a Chinese hardware manufacturer teams up with an American entrepreneur to start a hash rate war and gain majority. The plan is to do a 51% attack and double spend the transactions on the blockchain. A billionaire who's eligible to play a James Bond villain acquires an interest in the network and uses his wealth and infrastructure to run an attack of his own. Wait, what? Where have I heard this story before? So it just goes on to basically talk about, the arrogant Gavin Belson who likes to block innovation with his patents, enjoys dirty fights, which he sustains by virtue of his wealth, and has built a reputation through controversy, is a lot like Craig Wright. So the former gets access to the Pied Piper infrastructure and runs a hash rate attack of his own. The latter discovers Bitcoin and tries to take control over it by political means. Both men see power as a greater end than money and spend their wealth to boost their reputation and influence. And when it comes to opportunities, they both appear just as greedy and reckless. One wants to overtake a blockchain for the sake of destroying competition, while the other might be doing the same if his Blockstream spy status gets confirmed. It goes on to talk about a lot of other similarities as well. I'm not going to go into it all right now. Really funny. I don't really think they predicted it. It might have been loosely based off of these things, but it is kind of strange how eerily similar it was, guys. Now, let's get into some coin news. I want to today talk a little bit about Cardano. So the foundation has actually finally announced the resignation of the chairman of the Foundation Council of Cardano Foundation, Michael Parsons, okay? This is in response to a petition signed by over 6,000 Cardano community members. So Parsons is being replaced by Pascal Schmid, who is a member of the council. Now, he's previously cited for his lack of vision. You had Charles Hoskinson out there. He was talking about, lack of transparency, proper fund allocation, financial accountability, all being major problems in Cardano. In fact, he insinuated that the governance of the foundation is like a monarchy rule where the chairman dictates what he wants to do to the staff. So the news of the resignation is perceived as a victory for Cardano community by Hoskinson. He likened the event to the end of an era of captivity. So what does this mean for Cardano? What is happening moving forward? Well, according to Charles, the Cardano Foundation needs to spend the next 1 to 2 months cleaning up, restructuring, and reinventing itself. So with Parsons gone, he believes that the foundation can restore its credibility, trust, and faith with the community. He also expects the foundation to be more democratic and expects more diversity in the board and suggests at least 7 different board members. You guys can watch this right here. He also had a surprise live stream the other day. Also, guys, if you're not aware, we are actually having a community interview with Charles Hoskinson. This will be in the 2nd issue of Blockchain Brief. If you guys are interested, you can follow this. I have this tweet over here. Click on the Reddit and ask anything you want, and we will try our best to include it in the upcoming release. So link in description below. Also wanted to talk a little bit about Holochain. So they have their hApps sneak preview. So what are hApps? Well, hApps are their version of dApps, say of decentralized apps or Holochain apps, okay? So if you're interested, you can come here, you can have a look at what's going on behind the scenes. I know Holochain was pretty, it was a really exciting crypto. People were just pumping it, it got on Binance, you know, it's got a really different structure to it, okay? So definitely check this out if you guys are interested. Also wanted to talk about PumaPay officially becoming a founding member of the University of Nicosia's Institute for the Future for Advancing Blockchain Research and Development. So in a nutshell, the Institute for the Future is a multidisciplinary center dedicated for the research and expansion of blockchain and artificial intelligence. The Institute intends to push the adoption and integration of the technologies into industrial, agricultural, governmental, and educational fields. We also have Ravencoin assets. Now, a lot of people, actually including myself, I'll be actually a little honest with this one, didn't really 100% understand it. So a lot of people are saying that they thought it was very similar to buying almost like domain names. So a lot of people were getting excited because remember you can kind of, you know, the dot-com boom, you buy all these domain names, right? And then you flip them for like super high prices. People still do that today. So a lot of people thought that was the case. But I also wanted to talk about, there's been over 2,000 there's been over 10,000 Ravencoin asset names that have been created, which is insane considering that there's only a little over 2,000 cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap. What's actually kind of cool about this is it's resulted in the burning of over 5 million Ravencoin, which at the time is 150,000K, gone forever. Pretty cool mechanism, right? It's a way to kind of almost try to combat the inflation. So they're saying don't compare them to domain names because Ravencoin asset names are fundamentally different in the sense that Ravencoin asset names can theoretically be exclusively used on the back end. So for example, you can have an asset named AMZN77CM, right? But you could also have it as Amazon.com or AMZN on the front end. So you know, there's no need for a corporation to spend a huge amount of money buying their brand name for an asset, whatever. So basically just wanted to point that out. I mean, they go on to give some examples of things that might work. For example, you know, Vote was purchased. So, you know, if different, say we want to just use Vote as the official and you want to do like Vote/Germany or Vote/Switzerland or something like that. And we all adhere to this and that becomes the platform to go for voting official, well, then it could take off. So if you guys are still confused, I know it's confusing, I'll drop the link below, but it's really cool what they're doing, and it is very innovative and different. Now, guys, we got to get into some other news. Let's talk about time travel crypto. Once backed by Trump, appointed acting attorney general. What?
You are fake news.
Let's talk about it. So we know that Trump has recently, gotten rid of Attorney General Jeff Sessions. We're very well aware of this. So in his place, he's appointed Chief of Staff under Sessions, Matthew Whitaker. Okay? But let's talk about this. So it turns out that Whitaker was once paid at least $10,000 in 2014 to serve on the advisory board of an invention company called World Patent Marketing. So they ended up being potentially completely a scam, with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission filing a complaint against the firm over reports from consumers who went in debt or lost the entirety of their investments with the firm. Now, they also had a product called Time Travel X, and it was dubbed a theoretical time travel commodity tied directly to the price of Bitcoin. So in 2016, the company attempted to raise funds for the product by asking for Bitcoin donations so World Patent Marketing could make time travel a reality. As if time travel cryptocurrency wasn't strange enough, World Patent Marketing also announced a masculine toilet invention for well-endowed men so they can avoid having their genitalia touch toilet water. Guys, you cannot make this up. They also tried to bring Sasquatch dolls to retail and suggested that Bigfoot does indeed exist and that DNA evidence proved it. So there you guys go. That's our new Attorney General. But let's talk about some positive news. So we have JD.com, Chinese retail giant, has launched a research lab for blockchain. So among other things, JD states that the lab would focus on long-term joint research in privacy protocols, fundamental consensus protocols, and security in decentralized apps. And if that doesn't make you happy, guys, does this 1 hour chart of Bitcoin kind of look like Batman? Kind of looks like Batman, right? All right. That being said, guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Surprise episode today. I didn't even plan on making this, so if you're watching this, honestly, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Really means so much, and you know what? If you're here and you're watching, then I can honestly say I'm glad that I got up and I made a video today. Pleasure, honor. Thank you to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting. You guys are freaking awesome. If you haven't had a chance to sign up for the Blockchain Brief newsletter yet, we are giving away our first episode, our first newsletter, absolutely free. Put in your email. You get it sent to you right away. If you guys want, you can sign up for future issues. You don't have to. That being said, guys, thank you so much once again, everyone that's been liking, commenting, subscribing, bell notification. You know the drill, guys. My name is K-Dub. Until next time, stay crypto. This is Crypto Zombie. Wait, I think I screwed that one up. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. Been a long week, guys. Think so. Anyway, see you guys on Monday. Until next time, stay crypto. Peace out.